and we've talked about the potential for this to become a cash cow over time. We've just poured fuel on the fire. We put gasoline on the fire here with this one.
Joining us for a conversation is David Cole, the CEO of EMX Royalty, the royalty generator. Mr. Cole, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Honored to have you with us today, sir, as you have some breaking news for shareholders, as EMX Royalty has just consummated a watershed moment with the announcement of the royalty portfolio purchase agreement with SSR Mining. Mr. Cole, thank you for allowing me to be the first to say congratulations, sir, on a significant milestone on what may be the biggest company event in the history of EMX Royalty.
Yeah, we're very pleased with this transaction, pleased to have SSR Mining as a shareholder in the company, and it's been a pleasure to work with them.
Let's get right into the press release. EMX Royalty acquisition consists of 18 geographically diverse royalties with 4 royalty assets at advanced stages of project development. Please provide us with the details of the royalty purchase agreement with SSR Mining.
Well, we're paying $66 million up front for this portfolio, Maurice, $33 million in share capital and $33 million in cash. There's deferred payments depending upon the performance of the Yeni Pazar net profit interest royalty in Turkey. Those deferred payments accumulate up to $34 million, but that's not until that asset actually cash flows $20 million. So we're pleased with respect to how this is designed. Gives SSR a nice chunk of equity in EMX, which is one of the key things that they were looking for when they chose us to sell the royalty portfolio.
What type of value creation will EMX derive from this transaction, and how will it impact the synergies with the existing EMX initiatives around the world?
So one of the key things here is immediate large cash flow. The Gediktepe mine, which is at the final stages of construction, should be in production in a month or two. Has a high-grade oxide cap that's gold enriched with a 10% NSR. And so we'll see immediate gold royalty income over double-digit millions of dollars per annum from that royalty right out of the gate. And so we're very, very pleased with that. So this really propels at the top of our pyramid forward, which is something that we've been working on for some time, as we've discussed previously, Maurice. And with respect to synergies with our existing portfolio, and one of the reasons why we were able to grab this is because of our relationships in Turkey and our comfort with Lydia as an operator there. And that gave us an edge with respect to working with SSR to accomplish this deal.
One of the key aspects of this transaction, along with all of EMX royalties, is something you've covered with us, and that is the value proposition of embedded optionality, which is just icing on the cake for each of your royalty properties. Can you please elaborate on the virtues of embedded optionality within the royalties?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite topics, and it's the reason why royalties trade at such premium valuations is because of all the embedded optionality, commodity price optionality, discovery optionality, engineering advancement optionality, et cetera, et cetera. And mining districts have a history of giving and giving, and it's always to the benefit of the royalty holder and no cost to the royalty holder. So that's why royalties are so dear. And I will point out that royalty companies that have large numbers of royalties trade at a much higher valuation per royalty than royalty companies with a lower number of royalties. This is a phenomenon that's existed in the royalty sector now for some time, where the portfolio effect impacts the overall valuation of that portfolio. And that's because of this sort of multiplicative optionality of the entire portfolio. You never know where the big success is going to come from years out. And so, as you know, our goal here is just to continue to grow this portfolio through organic methods, which we're really good at and have had a track record for 18 years of doing, but also through acquisition. And we've been challenged, quite honestly, to accomplish big accretive acquisitions because it's a competitive space. We've been very patient. We stood at the plate and they kept throwing more pitches at us, and we found one to hit and hit it out of the park.
Great way to put it, sir. I referenced a watershed moment. Where does today's press release rank with relation to the Malmish and or the Timok?
Well, that's interesting. certainly the value proposition of the TMUC acquisition is unbeatable because we paid to 200,000 Canadian dollars for a royalty that's going to pay hundreds of millions. So that one's astonishing, but that had to do with the fact that we were in that district and understood what was going on there very early in the history of the discovery, and able to acquire that royalty early on, thanks to our geologic understanding of the region. Right. So that's a tough one to compare. With respect to Malmus transaction, that was a fantastic deal that really cashed up EMX and put us in a position where we could do this deal.
Yes.
And so, step by step, we're building this company. Very pleased with these transactions. Malmus was super accretive for us. As you know, we booked $67 million out of that deal, and have put those monies to excellent work, this being the top example. And you and other folks have asked me many, many, many times, what are you going to do with the money, Dave? What are you going to do with the money? And we just kept looking and turning down opportunities and losing sales processes because our bids weren't as high as our competitors until the right one came along. And one of the key aspects that made this deal happen, as I mentioned, is the fact that SSR specifically wants to be a shareholder in EMX. And I've said before that the right transaction that'll really advance this company is going to be one where the major companies selling their royalties understand the value proposition that EMX offers and want to be a contributor, want to be a member of the team.
Speaking of the TMUC, which is a company-making event in and of itself, what are the latest developments there?
Yeah, it's going into production. Yeah, so I do believe that they had a couple of delays. So they were originally talking about an opening ceremony in June. I believe that's been pushed back to August at this point in time, maybe September. But that's still ahead of the original schedule. The Chinese have been very aggressive. It's advancing into production.
Leaving the property bank, Mr. Cole, please provide us with the capital structure for EMX Royalty.
Well, we're sitting here today with 84 million shares issued and outstanding, a few over 90 million shares fully diluted. That's not including the shares that we will issue to SSR, which on a pro forma basis will be approximately 12% of the company. So that'll push us up towards the 95 issued and outstanding, and over 100 million fully diluted at the completion of this transaction, which should hopefully occur within 4 to 5 weeks, in my opinion. Sitting here today with about $30 million in cash. Of course, those monies get paid to SSR as part of this transaction as well. We have about $20 million in tradable securities and long-term investments in our portfolio as well, and no debt at this time. However, we will be taking on a small $10 million debt from Sprott. We appreciate their support as a capital partner for EMX. They've helped us out in the past as well. That puts us in a situation where, even though we're putting out $33 million USD to SSR for this transaction, thanks to Sprott, we'll still have a nice cushion here with respect to money in the treasury to continually advance our organic growth, which is our job one, as you know.
And just for the record, ladies and gentlemen, I plan to match my bullion purchases with shares in EMX Royalty, as I believe the company has the potential to melt up. And I'm talking about the stock price, of course. The stock price, in my opinion, is at a fire sale, and that is Maurice Jackson's opinion, but not really just my opinion. Mr. Cole, you and I both know some of the most prominent names in the natural resource space. They share the same sentiment in reference to EMX Royalty. In closing, sir.
Happy to have those guys on as contributors.
Yes, sir. Yeah. In closing, what would you like to say to shareholders?
Well, we're in a situation here today where the Balya royalty, a 4% uncapped royalty on the lead zinc silver mine in Turkey, is coming into production. Xinjiang is advancing the TMUC project into production. Of course, Leeville's in the background. It pays every month. And we have an immense amount of optionality within our pyramid that's bubbling up towards the top. And these names I'm throwing out are just examples of that. And we've talked about the potential for this to become a cash cow over time. We've just poured fuel on the fire. We put gasoline on the fire here with this one. And the Gediktepe 10% NSR and the oxide gold cap will just propel our gold income in the company here substantially over the course of the next 3 years, and we're very excited.
Mr. Cole, for someone listening that wants to get more information about EMX Royalty, please share the website address.
EMXroyalty.com. And the contact details for myself, Scott Close, and Isabel Belger, managing European investor relations, and Scott here in North America, are embedded in the website and on the press release. Feel free to reach out to us.
Mr. Cole, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Wishing you and EMX Royalty the absolute best, sir.
Thank you, Maurice. Always appreciate your support.
The information presented on Proven and Probable is provided for educational and informational purposes only, without any express or implied warranty of any kind, including warranties of accuracy, completeness, or fitness for any particular purpose. The information is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, or trading advice, or any other advice. You should not make any financial, investment, or trading decision based on any of the information presented without first undertaking independent due diligence and consultation with a professional broker or competent financial advisor.